All right. Good afternoon, KU listeners. This is Dontrell Morrow, and this is the show called In the Know. I am here today with a very, very astute young entrepreneur by the name of Justin Vorwaller. And he is with us today visiting because he is going to share a little bit about how he came to be an entrepreneur, kind of like some lessons that he's learned along the way that's helped prepare him for this next step in life, and just how being a college student and being, I guess, a responsible, like, focused college student really played this huge role and led him down this path. So, without further ado, I would like to turn a little bit of the time over to Justin. Hey, man, how are you doing?
Doing great. I really appreciate you having me on.
Oh, thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. I love doing this and having these, persons of the week because I think it really illustrates to our listeners just about just all the talent that we have out here in this community that otherwise they may not hear about. So I want to give you this opportunity to give a shout out and a platform about your successes that you've had. And I guess to start off our interview, one of the first questions I'd like to ask you is just like where are you from originally? I know you're from out of state, but what brought you to Utah, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm from Parker, Colorado, which is right outside Denver, south of Denver. I've been in Utah, Salt Lake, for about a year and a half now. I actually finished up my undergrad in Colorado at UC Colorado Springs about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and I thought the Salt Lake area would be good to live. Had the opportunity to go to grad school here, and I'm actually attending the Utah State MBA program
Oh,
in the Salt Lake campus. Yeah, so Salt Lake's a great area. It's a great a place to show my talents and to try to do some good things on the business side of things. So
that's awesome. That's awesome. And so what are you studying at grad school? Are you
yeah, so master's in business administration,
okay?
and so yeah, almost done. About 6 months away from graduating. So
Oh, well, high five on that one.
thank you, Dontrell.
That's awesome. So, okay, so you talked about you want doing business. What's, I guess, in your life, like, what has been an example to you that you would have said would have prepared you for taking this step in your life at grad school?
With grad school or with business?
Yeah, I guess kind of both because one led to the other. It
Yeah,
sounds like.
absolutely. Well, my family's pretty big on furthering education, and I have two brothers who completed their master's degrees, and
Hmm.
and uh, and so just some grandfathers, aunts, uncles that went through master's programs. So just the influence and the importance of education in my family really kind of put it in my mind early on that I wanted to go as far as I can. Growing up, I kind of thought maybe like law school would be good for me, and
Hmm.
as I grew closer to decision making, I kind of concluded that business was a little bit more a better route for me. And so when the opportunity to come along to go to the MBA program, took advantage of it, and I really loved it. So
That's awesome. So I guess you would say you like working with people.
oh yeah, definitely, yeah. My experience in life has always been on teams, whether it's sports teams or um, just having good friends, just always family members.
Hmm.
Being around people is a big part of my life, and so definitely business gives you the opportunity to continue those relationships, to continue to build your network, and never burning bridges. That's something big. I've been taught in my life, and so always meeting good people and maintaining those good relationships with those people is so big in my life.
So did you grow up in like a large family or a moderate sized family?
I guess here in Utah, I'd probably be an average family, but in Colorado, it was a bigger family. I have four other siblings, so
Okay.
there's 5 kids, and both my parents are at home, and just a good growing up with my brothers was such an influential part of my life.
Hmm.
We were so close, and and then I have a sister who's a lot younger than us, but she's really brought the family together. So yeah, family's a big part of my life, and really enjoyed having that many siblings.
Awesome. So tell me, you said you did a little bit of athletics. What sports did you play?
Yeah, so in high school I played football and basketball, and growing up, those were the two sports that I played since I was, started football in second grade or second or third grade, and started basketball when I was 5 years old. And so,
oh, wow.
Been playing my whole life. And in high school, I happened to have a better basketball career than I did football, and that carried on to college, and got the opportunity to play in college, and really enjoyed that. So,
awesome. And for all of you listeners at home, I know if you could see Justin, tell him how tall you are.
Well, I'm 6'6".
So that kind of makes sense about basketball and football. Now, I'm sure that they hear that.
Yeah. Although I was a little undersized playing basketball, 6'6" is obviously above average. But when we're talking about, I was a post player,
mm-hmm.
and so I had to, play with some guys that were 3, 4, 5 inches taller than me. And so
wow.
I was sometimes undersized, but I enjoyed pushing around the big boys.
Nice. And where did you play basketball for your undergraduate?
Yeah, so I played at Snow College, in Ephraim, and then I finished up at University of Colorado Springs.
Okay, nice. And that was, I'm sure you enjoyed just the learning aspect of making more relationships and being able to be a part of a team, all of these kind of things that really form, the business mind and the business personality. So
yeah, no, absolutely. It's funny. People ask me, what do you miss? Do you miss playing? And of course, I miss playing basketball, but I think what I miss most is being on that team and having those teammates and those, guys that you're going to war with, so
mm-hmm.
to say, those guys that you're battling out there. And I recognize it is just sports, but there is that level of camaraderie that you get that can't be matched. And,
right.
It's really something special, and I try to take that philosophy of being on a team into whatever I'm trying to do, whether it's my work, with the the guys surrounding me, work, or if it's my classmates.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, we're all a team trying to accomplish the same goal, and so that same philosophy I really try hard to maintain.
That's awesome. And I want to ask you a little bit more about your entrepreneurial spirit and kind of what led you to start a business here in the Salt Lake area. And we will be right back after this short break and hear a little bit more from Justin on that. All right, welcome back. I am here still with Justin Vorwaller, and we are now going to talk a little bit about some of the experiences he's had with forming businesses. So tell me, how old were you when you first got the idea of, I think I can start a business. I think this is something I'd want to do.
It's funny that you bring up age, because I was pretty young, I guess, starting out, and I was actually 12 years old when I started my first company, and it was a lawn mowing business. And I know a lot of those. I know a lot of kids these days, they start lawn mowing businesses, but I think me. I think I was a little bit younger, and I think I took things a little different route with it.
Mm-hmm.
My parents actually didn't force anything upon me. I wanted to do it all myself, and I kind of just had some ideas in my head and went right for it. And I know kids today are probably the same with that, but I was pretty creative in my own right.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just went door to door, door to door as a 12-year-old, passing out flyers and trying to talk to people and say, hey, trying to get people to have me mow their lawns, and that's what little 12-year-old me was doing.
Wow.
And, it actually fairly successful and helped me to get through high school, get some extra money, and built a pretty large client base just in 5 years doing that. But I think growing up, I was, for some reason, just a little bit ambitious. Just wanted to make some money. I guess I wanted some extra toys as a kid or something. But I just enjoyed the aspect of working and especially doing things on my own.
Right.
I never asked my folks, hey, what's a job I can be paid hourly on. I just kind of wanted to do things on my own, and the lawn mowing business provided that. It was an opportunity to get some easy cash and to meet some good people, and so had a lot of fun with that. I learned a lot too. Hired my brothers and another friend to help me with the mowing, and so yeah, it was called the Green Kings Lawn Service. So
Nice.
Never forget that.
No, that's so cool. That's really brave for a 12-year-old to be able to go out there and do that, and take those risks early on. Did you ever feel any like apprehension at all? Were there days where you thought this is kind of difficult, I may want to stop, or did you just like did that never even cross your mind?
I can't remember if it crossed my mind, but I remember different. Looking back on it, I guess the difficulties were that people would take advantage of me. This is what I remember. Years past the experience, is people did take advantage, because this is a 12-year-old kid and his prices are going to be a little bit cheaper, and so they would sometimes be unfair with me, and so those were some difficulties, and therefore, because they underpaid me, I had to underpay the guys working with me, and so sometimes there was some friction there, and by then as a 14-year-old, I didn't know how I quite dealt with it, but hopefully I did in the best way possible. But it was just the reality of a business thrown on to such a young kid at the time. But yeah, I mean, also times are maybe a little bit different, 15 years ago than they are now. I didn't think, and I don't think my parents ever thought it was dangerous for me to go door to door. It might be a little more dangerous for people to go door to door today. I don't know, but I'd walk all around neighborhoods. I'd be gone for hours at a time, without a cell phone or communication. It's just
right.
It's just how it was, and luckily everything worked out good, and I was safe. But just overall, a lot of things I learned.
That's awesome. And speaking of your parents, now a business that you're doing right now, you actually started with your dad, if I got that correct?
I did, yeah. So my dad's been a pretty big influence in my life. He's pretty entrepreneurial, minded himself. He's started several businesses, and he's started the business that he's working at now. And so he came to me with the opportunity through a connection of his that he said, this could be a really good thing. Do you want to pursue it? And so I researched it, looked into it, and so yeah, with the help of my dad, we started my business today, which is called Recovery Edge Therapy.
Okay, and tell us a little bit about it. What do you do exactly?
Yeah, so Recovery Edge Therapy, what we sell what's called the Recovery Edge Therapy System, and what that is, it's a medical grade compression device that's worn to facilitate the recovery for athletes and for people training, people working out. What it is, it's a boot that extends from the tip of your toe to your waist, that inflates and deflates with compression air, and thus what that does is it removes the lactic acid and all the waste products that you get when you work out, when your muscles become sore. And so what that compression does is it removes that acid buildup, thus helping you to return to your workouts quicker, and overall you're able to perform better because you're able to get back into the training room, the gym, the basketball court, the football field, so much quicker without being sore. You're not going to have that lag time, that drag time that you normally would have when you're working out.
Oh man, that is awesome. I love that concept, and I love that idea of being able to work out and know that you're not going to go through that horrible pain and soreness that makes workout not really something that's, I don't know, ideal of what you'd want to do, even though it is what we all should do. So tell me, with that kind of like brainstorm and that kind of like technology, like what is next for your company? What do you plan on doing?
Yeah, well, one thing I've learned quickly is that for a company to grow and progress, you have to be always innovating. whether that's your your marketing strategy or your just ability to connect with others, or your products. Obviously, is a huge thing for us, for companies. Always have to be innovating. Always have to be trying to be better than a competitor. And so, we're working while we're still a very new company. We're working always the next step to see what we can be doing better. And a couple of things that we have going for us is an approach with online marketing, which is something that's going to be unique to the industry, is basically educating and therefore inspiring others to use and benefit from the product. So the product itself is ideally used in the home, whether it's for the everyday athlete, whether it's the person aspiring to play high school varsity sport, or in college, or maybe they're working towards professional level. Maybe they are on the professional level. Maybe they're training for a marathon. Maybe they're just simply working out to feel better and to look better and to have these advantages of this advanced recovery. With that is the approach that we want to make sure that everybody can benefit from this. And so our price is targeted for that home use. You don't have to go to an athletic training room to have this advanced technology. This advanced technology is very easy to use and very portable, and can be used in the home. And so the strategy with that is educating people through different online videos, different online marketing strategies to deliver the message that this is a product that is really beneficial to all athletes, or to anybody who maybe just has a job that gets them sore and tired. This can be really beneficial for them. It will get them back on their feet quicker than they would with traditional treatments. Not only do we have leg boots, but we have an arm sleeve and a shoulder sleeve and a waist sleeve and a back sleeve.
Wow.
And so it's just a lot of neat products that it works for the full the entire body to help you get back to full strength. Because when you're at full strength, obviously you're gonna perform better, you're gonna feel better, and so that's where we want to head with the direction of the company right now. Also in conjunction, we're actually getting ready to launch a new, more of an advanced further system that will be even further easier to use. And so this new product line that we're getting ready to launch is also the good strategy that we have today.
Okay. So this will be available through like your website. People can go there and purchase this, or is it going to be in a store?
Yeah, so the methods that we have to get it out for others to purchase is we have several sales reps across the nation that are actually going from business to business, from athletic training rooms to physical therapists to massage therapists, and actually selling this product to them themselves. But to reach a broader audience, obviously online is the key thing to do. And so people can go to our website, recoveryedgetherapy.com, and they could easily purchase the product there. It's very affordable. It's targeted for, like I said, for that everyday athlete, for that person to use inside their home. And that's definitely the ideal way to go about it. So visit our website, Recovery Edge Therapy.
recoveryedgetherapy.com.
Yep, correct.
Okay. Awesome. Well, see, I can already tell by just like the stories you've told about, those early years and starting that first business, how it's just been like a ladder, like you've just gone up step by step. And I think that's very important that people understand, especially you being a business major. And when you were going through your undergraduate level of school, how did you find that? Well, let me ask you, I guess, this way: the importance of having a responsible budget when you were going to school. Like, did you ever implement that, or have any kind of like, funding from scholarship, or did you work and just save your money? What did you do exactly?
Yeah, well, I was pretty blessed to be able to be on athletic scholarship throughout my entire undergrad. Um, Basketball was almost a full time job, and so the money rewarded to us was extremely I was extremely grateful for, and so because my school was paid for, it left me with such limited financial stress.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of that, I think looking back, I've always been kind of tend to be more of the on the frugal type, frugal side of things.
Mm-hmm.
I never have been so keen on being in debt. I never wanted to be in debt, and so I never wanted to. I'm going to buy things when I'm ready to buy them. I don't want to buy a super super nice car if I can't afford it. Obviously, this is logical,
Right.
but I've always had that mentality, and so with basketball at the time, I was focusing on basketball, and so I did. Some things, maybe I didn't have the nicest car because I was focusing on basketball. I didn't need to have that extra job to have a little bit nicer things because my goals at the time were just strictly basketball. But even with that, I was, had the financial means to get by.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't living a lavish lifestyle by any means, but pretty grateful for my circumstances.
That's awesome. And, I just wanted to bring that up because I know just even being a college student, having to make those conscious decisions to keep the, like, I guess like it says in Dr. Covey's book, keeping the end in mind or beginning with the end in mind, you want to focus on those goals of getting through, your education, and then that the rewards from that will come later. It's something that I've been able to learn a little bit more. I would say here too at the University of Utah, we have the Personal Money Management Center here. And for any students that may not know, you can go there free of charge, set up an appointment with one of the financial counselors, and they will help you walk through making a responsible budget to help you, not feel the burden of like debt or feeling like, you don't have enough to have those essential things such as food and clothing and those things that you need to just get through anyway. So thank you for sharing that example and how it's helped you. I think what I wanted to ask, and if you can just take a few moments and kind of think back now, talking about when you were 12 years old, the lessons that you've learned from that age till now, what if you had the opportunity to go back, what would you tell your 12-year-old self? What advice would you give that you feel like you've really learned at this point in your life?
I think the big thing for anybody starting out anything is just to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
It goes back to your brief talk about money management. People tend to want things now, they want the nice things now, and unfortunately that's just not reality. You have to be patient. You have to work hard.
Mm-hmm.
And be patient that your hard work is going to pay off, whether it's a month from now, 6 months from now, or 5 years from now. You have to be realistic with things, and you have to really be patient and understand that, hey, this is my goal, but it might take me a little bit to get to. And so, as a 12-year-old, I don't know how fast I wanted that money, but I think because I wanted it, I think a little bit faster than I shouldn't have wanted that fast. People did take advantage of you.
Mm-hmm.
People took advantage of me, and I think if I were just to let things work out and play themselves out and be patient with things, things can come more naturally. And people, maybe I needed to be a little bit more firm in my price.
Mm-hmm.
That hey, this is what it is, and I will wait for your business until it's a fair deal for both.
Mm-hmm.
But patience, I think, is a big thing with anybody trying to make money or trying to make it in business.
That's awesome. That I think is very, very good advice on any level. Is just to be patient. If you could describe, I think for you, because the world has several different meanings of the term success or the term, you know, um, prosperity or anything. For you, what does that mean? What does the word success mean to you personally?
Yeah, I think success obviously can be defined in a lot of different things, but for me, uh, if when I feel like I'm successful, when I feel like I'm doing things, it's me making a difference. It's me making a difference for others, and therefore giving them a better quality life, giving them happiness, and in turn, it gives me that better quality of life. It gives me that happiness, and so to me, that's how I define success. Is am I making a difference for someone else? Is their life better because of what I'm doing? Therefore, my life is a success.
Mm-hmm.
And you look at business, and business is all about what can you provide for someone else to help them achieve a better lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, everybody wants that financial, greatness. Everybody wants to be wealthy, but success doesn't necessarily have to be measured in money. Success is measured in happiness.
Yes, and boy, do we not need more happiness. I mean, it's like I try to think about a lot of the times when I see, people that I have grown up with in my family, or friends that I've had that struggle with what is happiness, and it is different for every person. But I do think that a lot of us would all agree that just to make sure that you could help somebody or be there for them, that truly does bring a happiness that's unlike any material thing that you could buy.
Yeah. And money will take care of itself. I really do believe that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're happy and if you're enjoying what you're doing, the money will take care of itself.
Mm-hmm.
If you really feel like what you're doing is going to be good for others, and it's a worthwhile product, it's a worthwhile service, the money will eventually come. It'll eventually be there because you're passionate about what you do. That happiness and joy will carry over to passion, and it'll carry over to hard work, and you'll be able to do those things because you're achieving that happiness.
Mm-hmm. So, I think that what you've told everyone today is that patience and staying focused on what those goals are, and then also just being willing to give all of yourself, to put in the effort and the energy, and then for the end result to make people happy, to be of service to other people. I think that's a wonderful message. And from a business person and a business perspective, I think that's even better because, there's this big conversation going on right now in our country about, Wall Street versus Main Street. And, I think you will set an example out there to kind of help show that, those two streets really aren't that far from each other. We all are in this together. So, Justin, I want to thank you for your time and for being here with me today.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
No problem. And also, please tell just one more time for our viewers and listeners how they can find your sports site again.
Yeah, so check us out, recoveryedgetherapy.com. The website's really, we built it to be really easy to use. All the information is there. There's more in-depth science readings that you can learn more exactly about what the product is doing to your muscles, how your muscles are going to be feeling after use. You'll be able to shop super easy with that. Just a lot of great information, super easy to use. You'll see our videos there, recoveryedgetherapy.com.
All right. Well, thank you all for tuning in today. Please come back again and listen to us next week. We will have more guest speakers coming in, and I again want to thank Justin Vorwaller for taking some time out to share this story with everyone.